Tyler Gray.
There, it's out the window. All right, I'm good. Until Steve gets here, I'm doing this all by myself.
I mean, put you on the broadcast.
Thanks, Como.
We got a few minutes for the ball.
Welcome, everybody, to the Sound Live Sports Network. 2A District 1 playoff baseball between the Mountlake Terrace Hawks and the Ceadercrest Redwolves here from Mountlake Terrace High School. Jared Maxfield has the left fielder Gray in a 1-2 hole. That pitch fouled off. One-two from Maxfield. In there for strike three. Gray goes down looking.
Next up for the Red Wolves, number 3, shortstop, Luke Mallory.
Here's Luke Mallory now. First pitch. Swung on, fouled back. 0-1. The 0-1 to Mallory. In the dirt. Ball 1. 1-1. So pitching for Terrace is Jared Maxfield. Comes in with a record of 4-1 in 6 games started. He comes set. 0-1 on its way. Swung on and missed. Count will run 1-2. Maxfield set. The 1-2. Swung on. Hit out towards center field. Adam Lorraine will come in and clear that one. That's 2 down in the inning.
Next up for the Red Wolves, pitcher, number 2, Aaron Davenport.
Maxfield set first pitch to Davenport. Outside ball 1. One 0. Inside ball 2. 2-1. One, 2-1 in there. Strike 1. 2-1. Maxfield Ray, the 2-1. Outside, ball 3. 3-1 to Aaron Davenport. (3-1) from Maxfield. Swung on and missed. Count will run full. 3-2. Full count. Maxfield, the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Davenport goes down swinging. Maxfield strikes out 2. We'll head to the bottom of the first. It's the Red Wolves nothing and the Hawks coming up. Okay, that's good.
Look at you guys, a little back and black. Nicely done. But all the choice tonight is ever changed.
Huh?
It's Kumai?
Kumai is how I've been saying it.
That's all right to you guys? Kumai, right? Sure, yeah. Kumbaya.
He's the one behind the Volt and in front of the.
I'm going for the car behind the Jeep, and I'm going to go full windshield. I'm going full windshield right behind
Yeah.
the Jeep right there. Full on shot. You ready? All right, go.
All right, starting at the bottom of the first for your Mountlake Terrace Hawks, we've got center fielder number 7, Adam Lorraine.
Welcome back, Sound Live Sports Network. Adam Lorraine leading off. He's in center field for the Hawks. First pitch to him, grounded.
Get on.
The pitcher will gather. That's Davenport. He'll throw to first, and Lorraine is retired on one pitch.
Right up next, number 4, shortstop Kendall Yackley.
Take a look at the Terrace batting order. Kendall Yackley batting now. He's the shortstop. Maxfield will hit third, the pitcher. Matthew Johnson, the third baseman, will hit fourth. Carson Dallas, the first baseman, will hit fifth, as Yackley will foul off the first pitch. Tanner Bowe, the DH, will hit sixth. Jonathan Kumai, the second baseman, hits seventh. Dan Bingerman, the catcher, hits eighth. And Tyson Kim, the left fielder, will round off the nine. Second pitch is high. 1-1 the count. The 1-1 down low, 2-1.
Just a bit inside.
That's what we have. We don't have a bottle of Jack Daniels.
That pitch fouled off and out of play. 2-2 the count. Buzzing, but I think it's just the headphones because I'm not coming through on the board. 2-2. Davenport will take a step off. Yackley will check his swing, but they say he goes around. Yackley will strike out, and that'll bring up Jared Maxfield, the pitcher.
Next for your Mountlake Terrace Hawks, pitcher number 26, Jared Maxfield.
First pitch to Maxfield, swung on to miss, strike one. Maxfield took a hefty cut at that one. Davenport quickly ready. 0-1, swung on and missed. 0-2. The 0-2 on its way to Maxfield. Swung on and missed. Strike three. Maxfield goes down in 3 pitches. And that will retire the side. We'll head to the top half of the second. It's the Red Wolves nothing, and the Terrace Hawks nothing.
too loud. It starts to pick up weird stuff. We can have conversations.
Yeah, like you want to beat that one out.
See, it's in this,
Conversations in your room go way bad.
it's in this one too, so it wasn't the headset.
All right, to start at the top of the second for the Ceadercrest Redwolves, number 5, right fielder Jared Fletcher.
Welcome back, Sound Live Sports Network. Top 2. 0-2 count. Swung on. That's going to be hit into right field for a base hit. So he's safe at first. That was Pletcher, the right fielder.
Coming up to bat, center fielder number 9, Josh Goodrich.
Now batting will be the center fielder, Josh Goodrich.
My mute isn't working.
Toss over, and they're going to get him at first. Pletcher is picked off. One down here in the second. So the Red Bulls will go from their leadoff man getting to first to now 1 out. First pitch. In there from strike 1 from Maxfield. The 0-1. In there, strike 2. Now Goodrich quickly down to 0-2. Maxfield, the 0-2. Outside, ball 1. 1-2.
Feel free to bring me in anytime.
Next batter. 1-2. That's going to be hit. Kumai will field at second. He'll throw over, and that will retire Goodrich for the second out.
Who is that to?
Now stepping into the batter's box, number 8, first baseman Kyle Lupo.
Kyle Lupo, the first baseman, now batting. And joining me here on the Sound Live Sports Network, none other than Mr. Steve Willits. Steve?
Ben Hyman, how are you today?
I'm good.
Excellent. Nice game here so far. Defensive battle.
First pitch grounded back to Kumai. He'll throw over, and that'll retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. The Red Wolves do get a hit. Well, to the bottom of the second. Hawks and Red Wolves tied at 0.
I don't think my mute's. Is your mute working? Talk right now.
Top. Oh, no, it's not.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. It is District 1 2A playoff action today. Elimination game. The team that loses this game, well, their season's going to come to an end. The team that is victorious will be playing on Saturday in round 1 of the districts. We head to the bottom of the second inning. No score thus far. Mountlake Terrace coming up to the plate and bringing you the play-by-play action, the super sophomore, Ben Iman.
Thank you, Steve. Batting now is the third baseman, Matthew Johnson, number 8. Aaron Davenport out for his second inning work. First pitch, in there, strike one. Davenport came into this game with an ERA of .18 in 8 starts. Definitely got command of his pitches. That one a bit high. Ball 1 to Johnson. 1-1. Swung on, fouled into the glove of the catcher. The catcher, Stevenson. 1-2.
And you know, Ben, I'm just looking at these stats for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be curious to get a little more information on this. They've got him down as a .18. They say he's got 1.
Swung on and missed. Johnson is retired swinging.
1 earned run in 39 innings. They've given up 11 runs in those 39 innings, and he is 3-3. So we'll have to double check that. I don't know if these stats were doctored a little bit or not. .18 sounds awfully good for a team that went 6-14 on the regular season. But so far, so good.
That'll bring up now first baseman Carson Dallas. First pitch to him. In there for strike one. Davenport quickly dominating these Terrace hitters. Really has good command so far today. Time called.
Davenport only a junior, and so far striking out 3 of the first 4 Hawks he's faced.
The 0-1 on its way to Dallas. Up high, ball 1, 1-1. Up high, 2-1. Two-one swung on and missed. Strike 2 to Dallas. The 2-2 on its way from Davenport is going to be lifted into foul territory. Davenport will call it off, and he'll make the grab for out number 2.
Up next for your Hawks, number 5, DH Tanner Bowe.
Batting now will be the designated hitter, Tanner Bowe. Tanner hitting .282 this year. First pitch to him. Swung on, hit. That's over towards the second baseman, Bush. He'll throw over, and that'll retire Bowe. Hawks go quickly in the second. We'll head to the top half of the third. It's the Hawks nothing, the Redwolves nothing.
High school on Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County Place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and Linwood Today for news, sports, and events about your community. And see what you're
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Ben Iman. We head to the top of the third inning. No score thus far between the Mountlake Terrace Hawks and the Ceadercrest Redwolves. 1-game playoff. If you win this game, you head to the double elimination 8-team district tournament. That's going to take place starting on Saturday up in Anacortes. The winner of this game will be going head-to-head with Archbishop Murphy. Team that loses this game, well, they're heading home for the year. Should mention that game would take place at noon on Saturday. Again, that's at Volunteer Park. And I stand corrected. It's actually going to be against Anacortes, so they'll be playing Anacortes there. Archbishop Murphy on the other side of the bracket, playing the winner of the Liberty Granite Falls game. 2-2 count. Gavin McDermott up at the plate. McDermott, a sophomore. Awaits the next Maxfield pitch. Just missed that outside corner. I think a lot of the fans here thought it was strike 3. Waiting for the umpire to punch him out. It never came. So it goes. So McDermott keeping alive here with his .286 batting average coming into the game. 8 for 28 on the year. And there's ball 4. So McDermott heading on down to first base. And for the second consecutive inning, the leadoff hitter for Ceadercrest gets on base. Last inning, it was Jared Pletcher. Pletcher was then picked off by Jared Maxfield. See if McDermott wants to challenge the arm of the senior. As Jared Stevenson, the catcher, now steps into the plate. Bunt down the third base line, fired it on over as Matthew Johnson gets the out over at first base. However, on the play, Gavin McDermott will hustle on down to second base. Give Stevenson the sacrifice.
Due up. Second base, number 11, Chris Bush.
And we come to the bottom of the order, which is number 11, Chris Bush. Bush, a sophomore. He is your second baseman today. Bush, who entered the game batting an even .200. It's the Bob Euchre, Manny Mendoza line batting average, which gets a smile up here in the booth from a couple of gentlemen older than I am, so at least somebody knew what I was talking about. That's what Google's for, folks. Look that up. Bush looking at a 1-0 count. Maxfield checking the runner at second base, winds and throws. Ball is popped up high into the air, into right field. Coleman going back on it, makes the catch, and immediately gets the ball back into the infield. McDermott not able to tag up on the play. Exactly what the Hawks needed there.
2 up next for the Red Wolves.
2 outs, and that's going to go back to the top of the order as Tyler Gray, the sophomore, steps to the plate for his second at-bat of the day. Gray striking out to lead off this game. Gray, only a sophomore, batting .320 on the year. Second on the team in RBI with 13. Interestingly enough, the one player he trails is a gentleman by the name of Riley Mallett, and Mallett not even in the starting lineup today. Not sure why that is. Maybe we'll try to get word on that eventually. Swings and fouls that one off. 1-1 is the count. Ceadercrest, a team that went 6-14 on the season. Team that was in the state championship game last year. They lost to Sela over in Yakima. During the regular season, Ceadercrest had finished second in the league to Archbishop Murphy, but just happened to get hot at the right time. Made a nice run through districts and then into the state tournament before losing that championship game. Incidentally, their girls team, the softball team, ended up winning the state championship over Sela the very next day. Over Ceadercrest, apparently losing quite a few of their players from that team. Not a banner season for them by any means. The count is now 2-2. Looking through their schedule earlier, this is a team that plays out of the Cascade Conference, which is a mixture of 2A and 1A schools. As the 2-2 count from Maxfield, swung on and hit into the gap in right center field. Moving on over and not able to make the catch is Coleman. It's going to roll all the way towards the fence. 1 run is in. Gray on second base. We'll give him an RBI double, and Ceadercrest draws first blood here in the third inning, and they now lead 1-0.
Step up to the batter's box. Shortstop, number 3, Luke Mallory.
1-0 is our score. Ceadercrest with the early lead. Luke Mallory, the freshman, who flew out to center field back in the first inning, steps to the plate for the second time today. Mallory with a .216 batting average. Anyway, the point I was going to make there was Ceadercrest has played 9 games this year against AA schools, which is what this tournament is. All of their other opponents were either 1A, 3A, or 4A. In those 9 games, they had a record of 1-8 on the year. Their only victory coming against Sammamish back on March 25th, and that's a Sammamish team that went 2-18 this season. So not exactly a stellar 2A season for Ceadercrest, and certainly a matchup that Mountlake Terrace had to feel fairly good about coming into the day. However, good pitching can often trump all, and so far we've seen that from Aaron Davenport, who's now on deck as a batter. The 1-1 pitch to Mallory. High outside, ball 2. Dan Bingaman doing a nice job to keep an eye on that runner over there is Tyler Gray, the sophomore, getting a fairly good lead over there. Swung on and missed. Gray is 5 for 6 in stolen bases this season as well. And if perhaps Maxfield can get one more strike here, can get himself out of this inning, and it won't matter what kind of speed Tyler Gray has at that point. He can just trot back to the dugout at that point. We'll see if he gets the pitch right here. Fouled off. 2-2 count still stands. Hawks, interestingly enough, one of the only teams in their Wesco 3A conference that finished their regular season play already. Obviously, the scheduling had to be done in which they could, as Gray's going to take off to third on the play. Ball gets away from Bingaman. We'll give him a stolen base anyway. That was a nice jump. He's now 90 feet away from scoring the second run of the game, and the inning for that matter. But other teams still playing out their regular season, as the 3A tournament doesn't start until later on this week. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and that is the end of the top of the third inning, but not before Ceadercrest picks up 1 run on 1 hit. They leave 1 runner. We head to the bottom of the third inning. It's the Ceadercrest Redwolves 1, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks nothing. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Is our pregame sponsor, Edmonds Community College, where students and community are at the high school. Football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. Steve Willits along with the super sophomore Ben Iman. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks now trailing 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the third. And the sophomore, Jonathan Kumai, leads off the inning with a base hit right past the shortstop, as Mallory unable to get his glove down in time on that one. A very crisp, sharp hit by Kumai. That is the first base runner of the game for the Hawks.
Dan Bingaman.
It's going to bring up the junior, Dan Bingaman. Catcher stepping up to the plate for his first at-bat of the postseason. And Kumai is going to take off, stealing on the play. The throw is late. Jonathan Kumai is in there with a stolen base. And all of a sudden, the Hawks getting that much closer to picking up that run that they gave up in the top half of the inning. Kumai, the only sophomore starting today for Mountlake Terrace. First stolen base of the year, and that ball's hit deep into center field over everybody's head. Kumai's going to come down and score. And Dan Bingaman, with a stand-up double, ties this game up 1-1.
Next up for your Mountlake Terrace
Danny Bingaman, who's batting .256 coming into the season with only his 3rd extra base hit of the year. Only his 7th RBI. A great time to have that happen for him. And we're going to get a courtesy runner here right now as it looks as though Andrew Younglove, the junior outfielder, coming in to run for Bingaman. And unlike at the pro or college level, if you have a runner come in for you, you're not necessarily pulled out of the game. Bingaman can certainly get his catching gear on and get ready for the 4th inning at this point. As he's already done his job, drives in the run, puts a runner on second base. Mountlake Terrace now in business here as Tyson Kim, the junior, stepping up to the plate for the first time today. Kim entering the ball game with a .276 batting average. We're going to get a timeout here momentarily. One count. Davenport with the wind. Ball is hit sharply over to first base, off the glove of Lupo. Trickles in front of Bush. He's not able to make a play. Everybody advancing 90 feet. Bingaman heads down to third, and Tyson Kim has a infield base hit single. Oh, that's right. And again, that is Andrew Younglove, the courtesy runner for Bingaman, who's now over on third. Davenport doing his best to get everybody back to the bases. Initially made the motion over towards Younglove and then fakes Kim back over. Runners at the corner, still nobody out. There's the first throw over to first. Oh, does he? Here comes the first pitch. Outside corner, strike called as Adam Lorraine steps in for his second at bat of the day. Lorraine grounding out back to the pitcher in the bottom of the first inning. Kim sliding back into the base. Davenport winds and throws. Strike two, swung on and missed. Lorraine just a bit out in front of that one. 0-2 count. Lorraine with a .323 batting average. Davenport swung on and missed. Strike three. Not the ideal situation for the Hawks with runners at the corner. Well, nobody out. Now you've got one out, and everybody's staying put right where they were before. Now Kendall Yackley with an opportunity to do some damage. Yackley has 18 RBI on the year. That is the team leader at this point. So we know he is well aware of how to get these guys in. Let's see what he does here. Davenport with a fake over to third and then throws it to first. Tyson Kim's lead fairly small at this point and easily gets back. As Kyle Lupo continues to stand on the bag. Davenport looks in, inside, almost hit Yackley. Just misses him, 1-0. And Jared Maxfield, who struck out back in the first, stands over on deck, hoping to get an opportunity here with one out in a tie ball game here in the third inning. And certainly number 26 would love to help his own cause. This time the throw gets away from first base, past Lupo. The run comes in to score. We've got a 2-1 ball game. Davenport getting a little too cute there. He finally threw it over there in the dirt. Kim was diving back into the base, which I think got in the way of Lupo. Lupo wasn't able to come up with it. Ball goes all the way up against the fence. Kim coming around, and he scores from third base. Kim actually moved down to second base. Younglove comes in to score on the play. And we've got a 2-0 count here with one out. And Yackley, with a very wise eye, takes that one. Ball 3-0. We finally get a strike there, 3-1. Here comes the 3-1 count. Check swing. Boy, they're going to say that was a strike. That was very, very close to both being inside and not being a swing. I'm not sure if he got him for the inside corner or the check, but either way, it's a 3-2 count now.
There you go.
No question about that one. Well outside. Kendall Yackley's going to trot down to first base.
Terrace Hawks. Pitcher number 26.
Moving fast. Be ready.
Kim staying put at second base. And Jared Maxfield, the pitcher for the Hawks, takes his first hack in this at-bat. Fouls it off against the backstop, 0-1. Maxfield on the season, batting .250. 3 doubles in 44 official at-bats. Sure, you would love nothing more than to get a hold of one right here. Got the pitch, just didn't take the bat off the shoulders. It's going to be an 0-2 count. Davenport wasting no time. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and for the second time this afternoon, Jared Maxfield is a strikeout casualty. And that will bring up Matthew Johnson, who also struck out back in the second inning, and that is 5 strikeouts now in the game for Davenport. 1-0 count. Carson Dallas now standing on deck. Ball 2, 2-0. Tyson Kim at second base. Kendall Yackley over at first. High ball 3. Aaron Davenport, 1 pitch away from possibly loading up the bases here in the third inning. High ball 4. Johnson's going to take his spot down on first base. Everybody moving forward.
Next up, first baseman Carson Dallas.
Tyson Kim over at third base. Kendall Yackley at second. Matthew Johnson at first. And a guy who is very capable of giving this ball a ride. He's already hitting 2 home runs this year. Leads the team in that category. Carson Dallas and his .373 batting average stepping to the plate. Dallas, the future Pacific baseball player, going down to Pacific University next year as part of the Mountlake Terrace letter of intent ceremony that took place at the school just yesterday. I believe Pacific is in Forest Grove, Oregon, if I have that correctly, just about 30 minutes outside of Portland. Dallas certainly hoping that he's not playing in his final high school baseball game yet, though, as he'd love to be playing again on Saturday. That first pitch is a check swing, ball 1 as it was high. Dallas, the 8th batter to come to the plate this inning so far. Takes that one for a strike. 2 runs in, 3 runners on base, 2 outs, nowhere to put Dallas. 1-1 count. Inside, ball 2, 2-1. Righty versus righty. Davenport gets the sign from Stevenson and the pitch. Off speed. Nasty stuff there. Strike 2, 2-2 count. Davenport would love nothing more than to get strikeout number 6. And he gets it. 3rd strikeout of the inning, but not before the Hawks do some damage. They score 2. We head to the 4th inning. Mountlake Terrace 2, Ceadercrest 1. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
High school football on Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about.
All right, and welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Playoff baseball here at Mountlake Terrace High School. Aaron Davenport giving up 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He's on the line for a loss as of right now, and he's going to try to do something about that here with the bat as he steps in to lead off the top of the 4th inning. Fouls off the first offering from Jared Maxfield. Hits the second pitch, though, right up the middle into center field for a base hit. A looper over the infield. And doing a nice job of retrieving that one is Adam Lorraine, but he had no play on that one as
Right fielder number 5, Jared.
Davenport very nicely putting that one in an area where nobody had a chance. And for the 3rd consecutive inning, Ceadercrest gets that leadoff batter on base. Worked to their advantage last inning, however, in the 2nd, that base runner was picked off. And Jared Maxfield trying to get a little deja vu there as he threw the ball over to Dallas. To no avail as Davenport is able to get back. Very close there as Davenport just getting back in time. Jared Pletcher, the senior right fielder, stepping up to the plate. Pletcher, in fact, was the one who had the single in the 2nd inning and was then picked off a play later. Pletcher's going to bunt this one back to Maxfield. Looks to second base, throws it to the shortstop. Yackley over there covering, gets the lead runner to perfection. No chance for the double play, but certainly exactly what you want to see in that particular situation when that bunt bounces a couple times in front of the pitching mound. Maxfield very wisely taking his time, didn't lose his composure, and waited for Yackley to get to the base. Easy put out over there as Davenport is retired. And they almost get the pick off there as Pletcher showing that he has amnesia as he was picked off back in the 2nd inning, and that's exactly what you want from a base runner, I suppose, as long as you don't make the mistake. You don't want to be picked off twice in one game. And Josh Goodrich swings and misses at the first pitch from Maxfield. Maxfield with another nice look over there. Josh Goodrich to be followed by Kyle Lupo. Ball's hit sharply to second base. Kumai throws it to Yackley over to first, not in time. And for the 2nd consecutive play, the Hawks are able to get the lead out at second. However, the batter makes it safely over to first. He'll trade that one every day, though, as you get the 4-6 put out over there as infield playing wisely so far this inning. Stepping into the plate right now, Kyle Lupo. Lupo grounding out to second base. Back in the 2nd inning. Swinging and missing, strike 1. So far, Maxfield with 3 strikeouts. Jared having a very nice senior year. Only 2 outings, really, that he struggled in this season. And a throwback to first. And they nail him! Nice play by Bingaman. Guns it over to Dallas. Goodrich with a little bit too large of a lead. He's out at the plate. And we head to the bottom of the 4th. Mountlake Terrace holding on to the 2-1 lead. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community. And see what your neighbors are talking about.
Designated hitter, the junior Tanner Bowe, to lead off the bottom of the fourth for the Hawks. Looking to build on that fourth inning 2-1 lead. All 3 runs in this game scored back in the third. Ceadercrest striking first with 1 in the top half. Hawks doing them 1 better in the bottom half of the inning. I think that one might have just gotten away from Davenport. Either that or he's got a riser. Just a bit high on that pitch. 2-1 count. Three-1 count. Mentioned before, Bowe grounding out back in the second inning. That time, Tanner taking from the get-go. He just stepped away. The umpire stepping over towards the Mountlake Terrace dugout. Not sure if he was yelling at the first base coach or if he was yelling at the dugout itself. I think it was the actual coach who he said, "I don't want to hear a word from you." I believe that's Kyle McGuire over there. Nice job by Bowe. He walks on a 3-2 count. The Hawks back in business here in the fourth inning as they look to try to get something going here in the sophomore who got it going last inning. Jonathan Kumai, who singled to lead off the inning and then stole a base and ended up coming around to score the first run of the game for Mountlake Terrace. Steps back in for his second AB of the night. Showing bunt, throw over to first base. Getting back in time. It's Tanner Bowe. Bowe getting a rather large lead that time. I think if Stevenson were a little bit quicker to throw that ball over, and if it had been just a bit lower, he might have had a shot at Bowe. That ball is fouled off of Stevenson's head. 1-1. Just heard a parent yell, "That was your spot right there." I don't know if he was talking about the pitch or the hit to the face mask. Assuming it was the pitch. 1-1 count. Davenport. Kumai hits that one into right field. Pletcher stepping back a couple feet, makes the grab. And that will give Ceadercrest their first out of the inning.
Hawks catcher, number 20, Dan Bingaman.
And that brings up Dan Bingaman, who drove in the first Hawks run of the game with a gorgeous double back in the third inning. Hit that one over into left center, right over the head of Goodrich. Davenport a little concerned about Bowe over there at first, trying to keep him honest. And we get a timeout called. Not sure if that was from, I think that was just an umpire timeout, as didn't see any action from Bingaman in the batter's box. Didn't appear to hear anything from either of the 2 dugouts. Nonetheless, Davenport ready. Lines and throws a strike to Bingaman. Battle of the number 2 jerseys right here. Bingaman looking at a 0-1 count. Only a junior. Bingaman playing sparingly last year during his sophomore season. First year on varsity. He's done a solid job behind the plate all season long for the Hawks. Swings and foul tips that one out of the glove of Stevenson for an 0-2 count. Tyson Kim, the junior left fielder, on deck. And Davenport with yet another throw just back in time. A few of the Ceadercrest faithful here wanted the out on that play. However, I think that was optimistic thinking on their part, as it was close, but not quite that close. And this time, Stevenson elects to go out and have a quick little conference with his pitcher, a very quick one at that, almost as though just to give him the baseball and to come right back. If anything was said, it wasn't much. Continuing to watch the skies here. They are getting a little bit darker, but No real rainfall as of yet. And once again, Tanner Bowe having to do the belly flop back into first base. Davenport looks in. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And we get yet another timeout called. For the second time during this at bat, a timeout called, and I did not see Bingaman called the timeout, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. Davenport was taking his own sweet time and looking in at the catcher, so I'm not sure if the umpire just decided he needed more time or what. Whatever it was, it works in Davenport's favor. He catches Bingaman looking.
Next up, left fielder, Tyson Kim.
Strike 3 called. 2 outs here in the 4th inning. And that will bring up the junior, Tyson Kim. Looking to keep this inning alive here right now for the Hawks. And we get another throw that goes over the head of Lupo, and taking off rather late on the play, but making it in plenty of time is Tanner Bowe, and then the throw gets away at second. However, Mallory, the shortstop, very wisely backing up Bush, retrieves the ball quickly, and Bowe will be held to second base only. However, he is now in scoring position. It's the 7th strikeout for Davenport in the game thus far. Oh, 1 count. Ben Iman pointing out that the those balls keep hitting the camera when they come ricocheting off of the backstop. Ball's just a bit hot. Well, they're going to call. No, they did, in fact, call the ball. Umpire barking out that one. I thought he was calling a strike throw. I couldn't believe it at first. And that ball is low and outside. Ball 2, 2-1 to Kim. Adam Lorraine, the leadoff batter, is on deck. Inside corner, strike 2, 2-2. Tanner Bowe with a lead over at second. Solid base hit into the outfield would score him. That ball's going to get away from the catcher. Bounces off the backstop. Stevenson, for a moment, I thought was going to have a shot at third. Couldn't come up with the ball. And Bowe very alertly heads on down to third base. He's now 90 feet away from potentially giving the Hawks a run here. We'll call a wild pitch on that one. And we get a 3-2 count as Tyson Kim looking to get on base in any way, shape, or form. Hits that one foul over towards the tennis courts, over the mesh that is right above the dugout along the first base line. And we are still looking at a 3-2 count as Davenport gets ready for his next pitch to Tyson Kim. Down low, ball 4, and Kim draws another Hawks walk. He's going to put runners on the corners, and that goes back to the top of the order as Adam Lorraine, your center fielder, is going to take a shot at this for a third time today. Lorraine is 0 for 2 thus far. Grounded out to the pitcher back in the first. Struck out in the third. Unbelievable, and whoa! And we get a stolen base, and we get a balk on the play. Davenport very upset. Unbelievable. Tyson Kim took off towards second base well before Davenport even threw the pitch. Davenport recognized it about 2/3 of the way into the run for Kim, turned around, faked the throw to second base, and then faked over to third, and in the process, the umpire stepped out and said, no, that's a balk, and that's going to give the Hawks yet another run as Bowe's going to come in to score. Doesn't show up in the stat column, but really, for all intents and purposes, Tyson Kim should get an RBI on that one. That was a play that was created by him and gives the Hawks a 3-1 lead. Ceadercrest coach Scott Goldsberry out to argue the call, but really I don't think he's got much room to stand on there, as that in fact was just an error and a weird play indeed by Aaron Davenport. Certainly should have at that point just made even a casual throw over to third. Instead he holds onto the ball, draws the balk. In a way, he's almost lucky that Kim wasn't sent down to third base. If he had gotten over to second, and he was very close to doing so in time, he could have been given an additional base. That ball's lined up into the middle, center field. Here comes Kim. Throw to the plate. It's going to be offline. The Hawks with their 4th run of the game. Adam Lorraine with an RBI single.
That's the hook to the plate. Number 4, shortstop, Kendall Yackley.
Adam Lorraine drilling that one right up the middle. Goodrich, the center fielder, doing a nice job to come up with it, but Kim with that speed, he was going to have to throw pretty much the perfect ball into the catcher. That wasn't even close. Kim easily scoring on the play, and the Hawks for the 2nd consecutive inning coming up with 2 runs. And with 2 outs, they may not be done yet as Kendall Yackley steps to the plate. Yackley struck out back in the 1st inning, walked in the 3rd, and he drills one up the middle. That's going to sneak by everybody. Another Hawks base hit.
Walk up to the plate.
As Lorraine
Terrace Hawks, number 26.
heads over to first, Yackley takes his place, and Jared Maxfield, who struck out twice already today, coming up again. And Maxfield quickly taking ball 1 and ball 2. Davenport in a little bit of a hurry now. Throws that 3rd one in. That ball's belted down the left field line. Foul. Looked good when it left the bat. Maxfield just pulls that one a bit. For a brief moment, we thought he had possibly a 3-run home run. The ball very quickly, though, hooking off to the left side of the line. A very long strike 1 for Maxfield. 2-1 count coming up. Davenport with the pitch. Off speed, high, ball 3, 3-1. And your cleanup hitter, Matthew Johnson, on deck. 1 ball away from potentially coming up with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Davenport makes sure to put that one right down the middle. Strike 2. 3-2 count. Davenport already walking 2, giving up 2 singles this inning. That ball's inside. There's his 3rd walk of the inning. Jared Maxfield on base for the first time today. Lorraine heads on down to 3rd base. Yackley to 2nd base. And Matthew Johnson with a strikeout and a walk already today, with an opportunity to break this game wide open right now, as Danny Smart's going to come in and courtesy run over at 1st base for Maxfield. The left-hand hitting Johnson, .293 batting average, 10 RBI on the year, which is 3rd on this team. Strike 1. Does have 4 extra base hits, all of which were doubles in his 58 at-bats on the season. Strike 2, and very quickly Davenport getting ahead on the count. And for the 2nd straight inning, the Hawks bringing an 8th batter to the plate. That ball down low, ball 1. Hawks stranded the bases loaded in the 3rd inning, hoping to do differently here in the 4th, as they now have runners on all the bases. Johnson fouling that one over on the 1st base side. 1-2 count. Carson Dallas over in the batter's box on deck circle. Johnson staying alive with yet another fouled off baseball. 1-2 count still. Keep in mind, they did change the rules this year. You're restricted to only 105 pitches per game. And Davenport over the last few innings with, as we mentioned, he walked 3 already this inning. Had 2 walks last inning, facing 8 batters each of those times. He's got to be getting up there in pitch count. Just missed that one. 3-2 count. The fans on the left of us here who are rooting for the Redwolves didn't necessarily agree with that particular pitch. And that ball's lined over to the shortstop. Mallory makes the catch. And we've come to the end of the fourth inning, but not before the Hawks get 2 more runs. They strand 3 walks, 2 base hits. We head to the 5th inning. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks 4, the Ceadercrest Redwolves 1. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community. And see what your neighbors are talking about.
And welcome back on the Sound Alive Sports Network. We head to the 5th inning of play. Hawks with the 4-1 lead. And bringing you the play-by-play this inning, Ben Iman.
Thank you, Steve. Batting now is the third baseman, Lupo. 1-1 in there.
I had to do a little erasing in my scorebook there. I had Lupo down as for a strike in the 4th, and then I realized he did in fact have a strike in the 4th. He was up when Goodrich was picked off to end the inning.
That pitch down in the turf, 2-1. Maxfield now 3 runs to work with. 2-1. Outside ball 3-1.
I'd be curious to see what they decide to do with Maxfield as this game progresses, too. If they were, in fact, able to get a few more runs here eventually, you have another big baseball game coming up Saturday. I think they've already resorted to
that ground ball to Yackley. It's going to retire him. Retire Lupo.
I think they've already resorted to going with Martineau on Saturday. At least that was the impression I got with talking to Coach Waters last week. However, I'm sure they'd like to have Jared available if needed and if necessary. If you were able to get a large lead, and it would have to be significant. You don't want to just pull him out for the sake of trying to get too conservative. This is a loser-out game after all, but I'm sure that Coach Waters would love to conserve him a little bit if they can, in fact, get a few more runs, possibly in the 5th inning.
First pitch to the third baseman, McDermott, is in there for a strike. The next pitch from Mansfield on its way, also in there for a strike, and McDermott quickly down 0-2. Maxfield will look in. He gets the sign, come set. The 0-2 on its way. High, ball 1. 1-2 the count to McDermott. McDermott hitting .286 coming into this game. It's currently when he walked in his first at-bat in the 3rd. That pitch outside, 2-2. On its way. Swung on and missed. McDermott goes down swinging.
Due up next for the Redwolves, catcher, number 6, Jared Stevenson.
Strikeout number 3 for Jared Maxfield. I'll bring up the catcher, Stevenson. First pitch, high ball 1. 1-0. Stevenson hitting .226. That one in there, strike 1, 1-1. 226. Couple of RBIs. He has 7 of those. 1-1 on its way. Swung on, that'll be hit down the third base line. Fielded, thrown over, and that will retire him. The Hawks go quickly in the 5th. 1-2-3. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Hawks lead it 4-1.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Mountlake Terrace Hawks with 2 runs in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, taking them out to a 4-1 lead. They'd love to get a little more insurance here in the bottom half of the 5th. Carson Dallas steps into the plate for the first pitch of the inning, and for the play-by-play, Ben Iman.
Thank you, Steve. First pitch on its way to Dallas. High, ball 1, 1-0. Carson Dallas hitting .337 this year. That pitch down the left field line, foul, 1-1. Dallas hitting .373, 17 RBIs, 2 home runs. That one in there for strike 2 on the corner, 1-2.
Much to the chagrin of Keith Lampers and Pat Flynn, who are up here in the booth with us, helping out with the public address system. Dallas keeping himself out of the stat column and one other thing.
That one hit towards center field. Goodrich will settle under it and retire Dallas. 1 down.
Dallas hit that pitch right before that, foul over towards the cars. They were waiting for the crashing sound of glass. Is always a game of roulette when you park your car over near the field on those foul balls down the left field side. Fortunately for the owners of those vehicles, everything seems to be fine thus far.
Bowe will swing at that first pitch. Strike 1. Tanner Bowe, last inning to lead off and walk to start the whole thing. He'd later score. Next pitch to him. Down low, ball 1 in the turf. He grounded out in his first at-bat in the second. Looking to get a board. 1-2. Swung on, hit towards the second baseman. Will be grounded and thrown over, and that will retire Bowe.
Up next, number 14, second baseman. Jonathan.
Interestingly enough, I just saw Nayland Sood walk in to watch part of this game. Nayland, the basketball coach, and a little bit reminiscent of his basketball season when Mountlake Terrace had to play Ceadercrest in a loser-out game to get to districts. That same team who also defeated Ceadercrest, then moved on and ultimately ended up losing to Anacortes. That would be the Hawks' next opponent on the baseball diamond here if they win today.
Quite interesting. That one by Kumai is hit foul towards the right side and will get out of play.
Don't want to jinx the Hawks here, Ben, but it is worth mentioning again, if Mountlake Terrace wins this game, they play Anacortes at Volunteer Park in Anacortes at noon on Saturday.
Kumai will hit that one also foul and out of play down the right field line.
If they're able to win that game, now we're really getting ahead of ourselves here, winning today and against Anacortes on Saturday. They would move into the semifinals against either Linden, Bellingham, or Seaholm. That game would be played on Monday. Losers bracket game also from Saturday's game would also be on Monday. So if the Hawks win today, they are assured of having at least 2 more games. Saturday and Tuesday, rather. I'm sorry.
1-2 hit towards second baseman, grounded. And that'll retire Kumai. Hawks go 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 5th. We'll head to the top half of the 6th. Hawks lead it 4-1.
Oh, do we have a pinch hit? No, that's Bush. Okay, that's right. The bottom of the lineup. Up to you. You want to go one more? Go for it.
Ceadercrest Redwolves, we've got number 11, second baseman.
Welcome back as we head to the 6th inning. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks hoping that they are 6 outs away from qualifying for the 2A district playoffs. And Chris Bush will lead off the inning for Cedarcrest. For the call, here's Ben Iman.
Thank you, Steve. First pitch runs way inside, ball one to Chris Bush. Bush this year. That one hit out towards left field. I was about to say he was hitting 200. Easily grabbed by the left fielder. That's Tyson Kim, one away.
Next up, left fielder, number 13, Tyler Gray.
So Bush flying out to right in his first at-bat, flying out to left in the second one. And the way this game's going, he may not get a third at-bat.
That'll bring up the left fielder for the Ceadercrest Redwolves, Tyler Gray. Gray hitting .320, 13 RBIs, and he swings at that first pitch for a strike. And Gray, one of these few Red Wolves to get aboard, struck out looking in his first at-bat to lead off the game, and then doubled in the third, was left at third, but he did drive in a run. That's when in there for strike two, and he's quickly down 0-2 here in the sixth.
Maxfield's doing a nice job, only giving up 3 hits thus far. Has yet to have an inning in which he's given up more than 1 hit.
The 0-2. High, ball 1, 1-2. Maxfield done pretty well today. 3 strikeouts, only 1 walk, and only 1 run scored against. The 1-2. Curveball drops in there. Strikeout number 4 for Jared Maxfield. 2 down here in the 6th.
And Maxfield now having retired his last 7 batters. Luke Mallory, who struck out in his last appearance against him.
Luke Mallory now batting. The freshman hitting .216. 4 RBIs on the year. First pitch. Inside, ball 1, 1-0. Mallory playing shortstop today. Flew out in his first at-bat. Flew out to center in his first at-bat. And to right in his next at-bat. That pitch in there, strike 1, 1-1. One. Fouled off, back off the frame. 1-2. Do you have what Mallory did in the second at bat? I don't have it.
Struck out.
Maxfield will come set. Well, 1-2 on its way. In the turf, 2-2 runs the count. Maxfield looking to get through the 6 unharmed. 2-2 on its way. Fouled off the right field sign, will get out of play. Count will remain at 2-2. He'll step back in now. Maxfield will come ready. 2-2 on its way. Off the corner, ball 3. Count will run full to Luke Mallory. Maxfield will come ready. The 3-2 on its way. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. The Hawks lead it 4-1.
Welcome back on the Sound Live Sports Network. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning, and with the call, the super sophomore, Ben Iman.
Thanks, Steve. Now batting is Dan Bingaman, the catcher. First pitch, down low, ball one. We have a pitching change to announce for the Ceadercrest Redwolves. It is Kyle Lupo, who has moved over from first base. His next pitch is in there for strike one to Bingaman. And the pitcher, Aaron Davenport, has moved over and will fill in at first base.
Now, Lupo, by all accounts and the stats we were given, has started 4 games this year. He had a 3-3 record coming into the game. ERA of 3.56.
Next pitch to him, 3-1 on Bingaman. Dan Bingaman, so far today, doubled in the third, got an RBI and would score. He rips that one down the third base line. Fielded throw over, and they will retire Bingaman. Out number 1.
Next up to the plate, number 20, Tyson Kim.
Tyson Kim, the left fielder, now batting. Tyson singled in the third. We get to third. First pitch in there for strike one. And then walked and scored in the fourth. 0-1. Get past the catcher for ball one, 1-1.
Interesting thing to know here, too, as we start to look at the later portions of this game and possibly the Hawks' last at bat. So it's a 2-1 pitch. The 2A district tournament is a little different than the 3A in that all of the games are played at neutral sites. So in the past, when you were in the losers bracket, you could potentially have home games. They're not doing that in the 2A. So this is, in fact, the last home game of the year for the Hawks. And for our seniors, last time they're ever going to take the field here. And right now it's a junior at the plate with a junior on deck. But for guys like Adam Lorraine and Jared Maxfield and even further down the list, Carson Dallas in the lineup today, certainly would be nice to see those guys maybe get another at-bat. But nonetheless, they want to win first and foremost.
Kim will step back in. He's looking at 2-2. Pitch from Lupo. Swung on. It will be grounded back to him. Throw over to Davenport at first. Close play, but Kim is retired.
Nice job by Lupo to keep his composure there. That was a chopper, and it wasn't a fast one either. And he got decent speed in Tyson Kim. So for a moment, I thought maybe he had a chance to beat that one out. But Lupo very collectively gathered up the ball and threw a nice shot right over to Davenport for the out.
Now batting is the center fielder, the senior, Adam Lorraine. Lorraine grounded out in the first, struck out in the third, and singled in the fourth. He's currently ahead in the count 2-0.
Showing bunt there, too. I'm wondering if he was intending to maybe do that or if that was a take from the get-go.
2-0 inside, 3-0. Lorraine quickly ahead. From Lupo. Lorraine couldn't hold off. 3-1 the count. On its way. Swung on, hit towards the first baseman Davenport. He'll grab it, call off the pitcher Lupo, and take it to the bag himself. And that will retire the 6th. Led to the top half of the 7th. Hawks looking to close out this one here from Mountlake Terrace. They lead it 4-1. Back now, Sound Live Sportsnet, top 7. Jared Maxfield going for the complete game. For the call, here is Steve Willits.
And you can sense that this is an opportunity for the Hawks to advance to the district playoffs. The crowd starting to pick up the energy. You can hear a little more chatter down there. Mountlake Terrace possibly 3 outs away from getting back to district play. This is a team that went 7-13 last year. They don't miss districts very often, and obviously with the 2A reclassification this year, this was a year they did not want to be left out. 10-10 regular season record against, for the most part, schools larger than them. Solid season for the Hawks, and Jared Maxfield, who, as we mentioned earlier, really other than 2 outings, both of which he got a little bit dinged up in, but both happened in 1 inning. Edmonds Woodway, he was able to settle down after a rough first, and that's a game that Mountlake Terrace lost in the 9th inning on a walk-off home run in extras. And then against Linwood, he had a little bit of a setback, if you will. But for the most part, Jared has had a phenomenal year and doing so again today. And Aaron Davenport, who started this game off as the pitcher, has since moved over to first base, already looking at an 0-2 count. Outside, ball 1, 1-2. Fairly quick game today, too. We're under an hour 25 right now. Ball is hit over to shortstop. Yackley on a couple hops. Fires it across the diamond. Carson Dallas makes the catch, 1 away. And we bring up the number 4 hitter in the lineup, Jared Pletcher. Pletcher, the senior, singled back in the 2nd inning and then was consequently picked off right after that. And then he was thrown out on a fielder's choice, or actually his lead runner was thrown out on a fielder's choice in his last at-bat. Fouls that one back, 0-1. Certainly hope that a lot of folks are able to get out to Anacortes on Saturday. Again, that game time is at noon. From what I've been told, there are 2 baseball fields there, right next to one another. Daniels Field and Volunteer Park. Hawks are scheduled to play at Volunteer Park, and that game is at noon. On the other field, Blaine will be playing either Cedar Woolley or Burlington Edison. 1-2 count. Mountlake Terrace entered this tournament as the number 6 seed. Top 4 seeds getting automatic berths into Saturday. The other 8 teams having to play one another. And there's a strike. Swinging and missing. Down goes Pletcher. And Josh Goodrich will try to keep the Ceadercrest season alive here with 2 outs in the 7th inning. So on the Mountlake Terrace side of the bracket, Anacortes is the 3 seed, which is who they'll be playing. Linden is the number 2 seed, and they'll be playing either Seaholm or Bellingham, and that game takes place at 6 o'clock later on that night. And then the other side of the bracket, Archbishop Murphy versus either Liberty or Granite Falls, and then Blaine against either Cedar Woolley or Burlington Edison. 1-0 count from Maxfield, swung on and missed. Josh Goodrich. 2 strikes remaining for potentially Ceadercrest's season. Again, the team that went to the state championship game just a year ago. In jeopardy of not even making it to the district tournament this year. 2-1 count to Goodrich. Ball is hit into center field. Adam Lorraine floats over, makes the catch, and the Mountlake Terrace Hawks are victorious. They defeat Ceadercrest 4-1, and in the process, they end the Red Wolf season. Ball game over. The Hawks are moving on to the 2A District 1 tournament.
Congratulations, everybody.
Jared Maxfield going the distance today. Easy candidate for player of the game, but we just interviewed him last week, so we're going to do our best to mix it up and give it to somebody else. Who is that player going to be? Stay tuned. We'll let you know here shortly. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, get you some final numbers and an interview with our player of the game and even possibly Coach Andrew Waters as we start to look ahead towards Anacortes and towards the weekend. Again, the final here, Mountlake Terrace 4, Ceadercrest 1. This is the Sound Alive Sports Network.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community. And see what your neighbors are talking about. High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community, and see what your neighbors are talking about.
Welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. The final score once again from Mountlake Terrace High School. The hometown Hawks defeating Ceadercrest 4-1, and in the process they move on to district play. Dan Bingaman, the catcher, joining us right now, and he is the Adrenaline fundraising player of the game. Shirt here. You haven't seen one of these yet, right? Oh, no, sir. So we're going to hold that up real quick there, get a picture. You got the folks over there taking shots. Speaking of taking shots, third inning, you come up, runner on base, you're down by 1. You hit a double into the gap. Take me through the play.
You know, on a guy like that, pumping gas right there, looking for my pitch, looking for a fastball. Let him do his velocity, do the work right there, and put the ball on it or the bat on it.
And it worked. And then fourth inning, they came up. They get a runner on first base. They're trying to get their run back. They were down 2-1 at that point, and you threw a really nice pickoff over to first base to get the runner. Tell me about that play.
Yeah, I saw his secondary was way too big. I was confident in my arm and my first baseman Carson Dallas to.
Now, I was talking to your dad a little bit here after the game, and he was telling me, and this is always a thing I'm curious about, because when you guys are playing these districts, especially now that you're a 2A school, you're playing teams that you really don't know, you're not familiar with. I heard you guys had a little leg up, though. You might have known a thing or two about Ceadercrest coming into the game. Was there a scouting report that was given to you last night?
Yeah, my coach from 16U from the past couple of years, and he's a great guy, and he let us know what the scouting report was awesome.
So did you share that with your teammates too a little bit? Did you guys talk about some of the players you were facing today?
Oh yeah, we knew that coming into the game that they got an ace right there. Some on the bump, pumping gas. Their number one guy, and we're ready to hit him today.
Tell me about their ace too. Davenport, early in the game, he looked really strong, solid. What was it like to face him today?
Throughout the whole season, we faced guys with Veal just like him. We've been tuned in to guys like him, so we're ready to hit him every day.
And now, speaking of the ace on the field, your ace was out there today, and he was throwing lights out. Tell me about catching Jared Maxfield. First and foremost, let's talk about today's game. How was Jared's stuff?
Jared, he's been consistent all season, and I'm always excited to catch for him. He's always spun out with that fastball every day, and he's blowing by guys every day. And
I've got to think it's a nice luxury for you guys to have, having him go out there once a week. Phenomenal season for the senior.
Oh, yeah, you bet. I've been catching Jared ever since, I was about this tall, and then even I've been catching from ever since, so I know a lot about him.
Okay, so now Ceadercrest is in the rearview mirror. You're looking ahead to Saturday. Anacortes, the Seahawks, you're playing them on their home turf. You're playing them in Anacortes. Tell me a little bit about that game. Do you guys know much about them yet, or is it time to start studying?
I haven't looked at that game at all, but, I'll just go in there head first and see what I can do.
And the nice thing is it's a double elimination, so win or lose, you're still going to move on to Tuesday. But nice knowing you're making it this far, right? I've got to think for you guys, coming off a 7-win season last year, this had to be a goal from the get-go, right?
Oh, yeah, with team chemistry this year, it was a big improvement right there. So we're all good friends right here, and we're ready to play baseball.
Well, very good. So, again, the 4-1 victory, you get to go celebrate. You got mom and dad over there. You got your teammates waiting for you. We've even got a little showboating here going on. Carson Dallas says, there we go. Your teammates are ready to take you away. So I'm going to give you the shirt. Go celebrate with them. And, hey, best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. 4-1 is the final score. We're going to get the coach over here right now, too, if we can. Waters. Coach Waters? Coach very slowly making his way over here, and you can hear the guys right behind us now. They're still celebrating this one, and why not? Again, this was a loser-out game. It puts them into the double elimination tournament, and it's a place where Coach Waters has been before, but it's been a couple years now. Coach, again, we talked about it before, 7 wins last year, just trying to get back into postseason play. Outstanding season for the Hawks, and after today's game, you guys are moving on. First, before we start talking about the season in general and also the game coming up, tell me about today's performance.
Jared was outstanding and pitched like the veteran that he is. We played great defense behind him, and so that was key too. And fortunately, bottom of our order came up big when we got down 1-0, and it was nice to see that we got to that pitcher. He was a tough pitcher, and we knew it was going to be a tough game coming in, but we found a way. We got our runs, and I'm really proud of our guys. It's a big deal getting to the district tournament the way things have been. And it's really hard, and we've gone through 21 games of a really difficult schedule now, and I think we're more than ready to just put our best foot forward up in Anacortes.
We joked about it a little bit earlier too, but the fact that you guys are the 2A team in this district now, and you guys are the kind of stepping in from the outside, so is Ceadercrest for that matter. They don't know any more about you than you know about them, but in the past, playing in Wesco 3A and in 4A for a while, you always knew the teams you were going up against for the most part in districts. You know, the occasional Ferndale would kind of jump in there. But for you as the manager trying to get your team ready and prepared for a big game of this magnitude, what's it like for you knowing that you've got a whole team across the dugout, across the diamond who you're really not familiar with?
Yeah, you know, more than ever, we just got to go up there and play our game and prepare ourselves and do what we do best. I'm expecting well-coached teams up there. They play a really good brand of baseball. They'll play small ball and they'll do things, and we're preparing for it. We're just getting ready. There are so many good teams up there. We're going to get a good pitcher against us on Saturday again. So, but we've been through it. We've been through these battles all year, and another one on Saturday. So we just got to match it and play great ourselves.
And if I read this correctly, you've got the noon game on Saturday. A little bit different for you guys. Not only are you playing earlier in the day, but you're also the ones that are commuting, whereas Anacortes is playing in their backyard. Any concern from your standpoint as far as what to tell these guys beforehand in terms of what they might be doing Friday night, getting to bed early, getting ready for a game that's set at a time that they're not accustomed to? What do you tell the guys over the next couple of days?
I'm not worried about it. We're going to be these guys want it, and they're disciplined, and they know. We're gonna hop on a bus and you know, we're gonna get up and eat our breakfasts and go hop on a bus and get there and stretch out, and we'll see what happens. And so I'm not worried about it. All of these guys play summer ball and play morning games before, so it's nothing new. So it's just an adjustment. So it's at noon, so we'll be ready to go.
And again, there are new rules this year for pitch counts. I'm not sure what Jared threw today, but would he be available on Saturday if needed? I know you're probably going to try to stay away from him, but is that something that would be an option if necessary, or are you restricted and are your hands tied with the new rule?
The rules don't restrict it. Okay.
Coach.
Yeah, but I'm probably not going to go that route. So I think that no matter what in baseball, you got to use 2, 3, 4, 5 guys to get through it all, and so we have a lot of depth on our team. So I'm ready to bring the next guy up and to get it done Saturday.
And really stepped up lately. We interviewed Jesse James Martineau last week. I've got to think that when you get into a tournament like this where you mentioned you need more than one pitcher, nice to have that luxury knowing that he's playing his best ball in May or late April for that matter.
Jesse has stepped up big time, so we'll see. We're counting on him, and I know that he's going to be ready to go. So he's a fiery kid, and I think he's going to be ready to go Saturday.
Well, this is a guy here who's won a few district championships in his time, so I know you'll be ready to go, and you'll have the team ready as well. Coach Waters, best of luck to you. Congratulations on a nice win today, and it's time for district playoff.
All right, thank you, Steve.
Again, so Andrew Waters, the head coach for Mountlake Terrace, advancing to the district tournament. Final score 4-1. Ben Iman, are we ready to wrap this thing up, or do we want to put anything? So again, Jared Maxfield, complete game shutout. Good team win and team effort today for the Hawks. They advance to Saturday. One more time, it is at noon in Anacortes against the Anacortes Seahawks. For Ben Iman, for Angelo Camo, for everybody else who helped in the setup today. Nobody else was here, by the way. I do want to give one huge shout out to Ben Iman, the sophomore, who was not only helping with the play-by-play and color commentary, he was pretty much a one-man show up there, setting up the equipment, making sure that the cameras were in place, getting ready to break down for the most part by himself. He'll have a guy like me helping him out a little, but I'm just winding cables. He's the one that knows where everything goes. So somebody who I've had a lot of I've had the great pleasure of working with, and it's been a lot of fun. And who knows, maybe we're not done with baseball yet this year, but for the time being we are. And Ben, I want to give you a nice shout out for all that you've done. So great job for the Hawks. They win 4-1. They move on to district play. Thanks for watching. You've been watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. Have a great evening.
High school football on the Sound Live Sports Network is presented by My Neighborhood News Network, South Snohomish County's online gathering place. Visit My Edmonds News, MLT News, and LinwoodToday.com for news, sports, and events about your community. and see what your neighbors are talking about.